Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with the third and final game between these two players, NaDa and iloveoov. And we're gonna see. Okay, there's Oov and remember 418. NaDa keeps changing his name. It was like Green Eyes before. What? Oh! Remember 418! That's the date of their finals match for the MSL finals. April 18th was the Sen game MSL finals where Oov beat him in the final game. Oh my god! NaDa's changed his name to Remember 418 for this final game. What a taunt! What an epic throwdown! Wow. Okay. So you know what? When I was talking before about how this is a grudge match and everything like that, it was a little bit hypothetical. I was kind of thinking like, okay, it makes sense that these guys would have that tournament and there might, but no, NaDa is calling it out in plain sight and saying, I'm getting you back for April 18th. The MSL finals that you took from me, and I kind of wish I'd like gone back and watched those finals now, but I don't know if I would have had time to watch like 3 hours of TVT in preparation for this. But anyway, yeah. So remember 418 versus Oov. NaDa is, by the way, going to be the purple Terran in the top of the map, and Oov is going to be the white Terran in the bottom of the map. Seeing some of the fans in the audience here. It's starting to fill up here. There's a decent amount of people there for the quarterfinals. When I was in Korea, I found that too. Or, I mean, just in general from when I was in Korea, but also just from observing these games over the years. You usually see not like a ton of people there for the quarterfinals, and then like the semifinals, you get you get more, and then the finals is where it goes crazy, and they have to get a stadium and it fills with a ton of people and stuff like that. So anyway, so NaDa has his barracks on the high ground outside of his expansion. Oov has his barracks on the low ground inside, and I'm not sure if that's for any particular reason or not. We'll probably find out. But most of these TVTs that we see end up being kind of mirror-ish, and we do see both of them scouting the right side first. This is a 4-spawn map. This is what's the name of it? The Requiem, the one with the cross made of minerals in the middle of the map. And the side expansions that I thought this was some sort of an island map, but it turns out the ramp was just hard to see when I was looking at the small graphic of the map. So that ramp right there I didn't see in my initial assessment of this. Anyway, so. But yeah, there's these side expansions, and some of the side expansions are kind of hidden behind some minerals, and so you can squeeze units through, so it's sort of semi-islandy for some of the expansions there. But anyway, we do often see that these TVTs end up as mirrors to start off with, and then they diverge at some point. And so we'll see how that goes. Of course, we've had NaDa go for like mass wraiths, for example, and I think more than once in this tournament, if I remember correctly. Which, there's been over 40 games now that I've casted for this tournament, so it's hard to keep them all straight. But there's another starport for both players. Both players going for starport, so we're staying with this mirror build. Oov is at least putting his Marines up on the top of the ramp, and he's actually going to send them out onto the map. Excuse me. Perhaps precisely for this reason. To catch that barracks and start pushing it away, because if that barracks did float into his base and spotted the starport, it could easily be countered. Now, what is NaDa going to do to make sure that Oov doesn't scout him is the question. Oov's brought his Marines back to the ramp to make sure no SCVs sneak in there, because the wraiths are a gambit, and if your opponent sees it, they just get an armory and get some Goliaths, and they win, because Goliaths just take out wraiths. Easy money. Oh, he's canceled. Whoa, okay, Oov has canceled the machine shop and is building a second starport instead with the money. And I wonder what triggered that, actually. I'm not sure I don't think he got a scout in, but I'm not sure what triggered that idea for him. He's actually continued to make Marines, by the way, so he's got 6 Marines on the ramp there. Maybe just being safe. He wants to have as many units as possible in case there's some kind of a attack here with... I mean, he obviously... NaDa has... And NaDa's building a second starport as well! Wow, okay. And... excuse me. I don't know why I'm clearing my throat so much right now. But yeah, maybe it's because I was so excited from yelling about Remember 418 being his name. So we got 2 wraiths coming across the map. Now NaDa is hiding his wraiths because he wants to build up a larger force of them before revealing them, is what it looks like. But in any case, I was just saying, like, OOV has actually built more Marines, which is going to be a pretty good advantage, actually, in this situation. Because it means he doesn't have to wait for Goliaths to be able to hold off, like, a couple wraiths. Now, if he has, like, 6 wraiths, that's going to be hard to hold off with just Marines. But, oh, and here we go. The barracks is coming in for a 3rd time to scout into the main base. And he's going to see those starports. He sees the starports. The Marines are coming back to assault that barracks. But it's too late. He sees the starports. Now, he's actually run the wraiths out now. So he's attacking. And look at this. NaDa is ahead of this with the engineering bay. He's going to get some turrets up. And what just exploded there? I didn't see what happened there. Oh, there was the barracks exploding over the starport. That's what happened. And so there's a turret in play. So now NaDa can defend here because he's got his own wraiths and turrets to fall back to. Now, is he going in with too few wraiths, though? It looks like NaDa actually has more wraiths here. But 1 turret shot was enough. And the Marines there is going to even it out. Well, actually, more than even it out. It's going to put the favor in... put it in NaDa's favor in that battle. And so he does actually pick off all of OOV's wraiths. I think they had even wraiths. I think they had 4 each there at the start of that battle. But the turret shots and the Marine shots were able to put it in NaDa's favor. In fact, it looks like OOV may have had 1 extra wraith. And maybe he's still able to turn those tables. So, wow. A crazy game already so far. And we're just getting into it here because it looks like it is going to go into longer game. We've got OOV building an expansion. I believe we see NaDa building an expansion as well. A 3rd starport? What is with the wraiths in this matchup? We had a bunch of wraiths in the other games as well. And here in this game, it's 2 starport versus 3 starport. Very, very interesting. And what is this? Is his SCV just going to run in there and just check it out? Yeah, his SCV just runs past. And unfortunately doesn't go into the main, so he doesn't scout that 3rd starport, which is actually pretty crucial. I'm surprised he didn't run down into the main. Maybe he's like, oh, I already scouted the 2 starports. I know what's going on here. Nope, 3 starports. 3 starport wraiths. And I mean, this is a smart move. He says, all right, you know what? You've got 2 starports. I've got 2 starports. We're massing wraiths. If it's a wraith battle you want, it's a wraith battle I'll give you. And the more the person who has the more wraiths is just going to win. Because when you're spending that much gas on it, you know, if you're buying wraiths, you're not buying Goliaths more than likely. Or if you're not buying Goliaths, you're buying tanks. But either way, if you can win the air battle, you're going to take that advantage. Because there's probably, after the air battle is over, there's probably not going to be, oh, and here we go. OOV is going to scout this forward position. He's going to come in and try and pick off these tanks. He does get the turret before it goes up. And NaDa is forced to retreat a little bit here. He has his own wraiths here, but I think he knows he doesn't have as many. Wait, what is going on there? His turret is attacking something floating there. I didn't actually see it. Some building is floating there. So, but yeah, so NaDa's trying to establish this forward position where he can set up tanks and try and do a contain here. And, so, and the turret does go up. Where are his wraiths, though? There are the wraiths coming in. And it looks like, of course, OOV does have more tanks because, I'm sorry, wraiths, because he's been pumping out of 3 starports instead of 2. He also has Marines on the ground. But if the tanks can take care of the Marines, then the turret added to that should be able to keep things even, I think. Well, no, I mean, after a certain point, 1 turret is just not going to be enough. So this is a really interesting situation. And it looks like I'm actually not sure, but I think that NaDa may have stopped building wraiths. No, he's still continuing to build wraiths. Okay, and he's actually getting cloak as well. Oh no, it's a wraith on wraith battle, but OOV has more wraiths right now, and he's actually going after SCVs. He's going to lose all of his wraiths. Oh no, that is a disaster. That is an absolute disaster. What was NaDa thinking? I think he's thinking that my opponent still only has 2 starports. And these Marines are actually going to run in here and attack this turret. NaDa has nothing left to stop this push at all. The Wraith push. He's bringing his tanks back to deal with these Marines, but that doesn't matter as much as these Wraiths right now, because if he doesn't have anything to deal with the Wraiths, then there's, I don't know what he can do. And it's kind of interesting. He can't even lift that starport and run away because it'll just take more damage in the air from those Wraiths. NaDa is actually counterattacking. He's trying to bring those Wraiths back by counterattacking instead, sending his SCVs in. The tanks are unsieged, so it's going to be hard to deal with them. And he's actually got a turret up as well, but 1 turret is not going to be enough to deal with these Wraiths. Or is it? With his own Wraiths, he's produced 2 more Wraiths, and he has the cloak as well. He has the cloak as well, and so, I mean, I believe, yeah, OOV does have the comsat stations, so he can deal with some of the Wraiths some of the time, but the comsats will run out eventually, and 1 comsat is dead. And so these tanks are actually doing a lot of damage. 2 turrets up now. 1 turret, you can kind of power down 1 turret pretty quickly with a lot of Wraiths, but 2 turrets with the other Wraiths backing it up and a couple Marines, it's going to be really difficult to deal with. This, I cannot believe it. This counterattack is actually working for NaDa. He's counterattacked and established a beachhead right in the natural of OOV. OOV has these random Marines running around that were able to push away the natural, but NaDa has counterattacked and forced back OOV's natural. So I believe the command center is still alive. It's floating and burning over there, but he's not able to mine from it. He's actually floating it over to the left to try and have it be in that other expansion, the sort of low ground island expansion, which is a smart move. It's a little bit vulnerable to Wraiths, but it doesn't matter because OOV has more Wraiths. So the advantage that NaDa has in that spot is that he can build turrets and he can have the tanks protecting the turrets. But on that low ground, there's not really a lot that NaDa can do to assault that. So it's a good spot for OOV to relocate that base to try to continue to mine with that. And now is NaDa going to be able to do? Oh, he lost his command center actually, and that's what I was going to say is like he couldn't even lift it up and run it away because the race would have done a lot more damage. But it looks like the Marines did finish it off. Now NaDa is falling back from that forward position with one of his tanks, and maybe in order to secure his expansion. Not sure exactly what's going on here. We're seeing OOV's first-person view for a minute, and hopefully we can get a little bit of a shot on how many Wraiths he has. They're actually his screen, his headshot there is covering up his control group, so we can't see. But he has at least 2 control groups of Wraiths. So I think we're looking at 15 Wraiths at this point, and he just added 2 or 3 more from these starports. So, and he's actually, this is what I was talking about. With one turret, you can just come in and power down the turret with the Wraiths, and there's the shimmer of the enemy cloaked Wraiths. He comsats preemptively in order to make sure that he can do an effective battle against it. He's trying to kill off this command center, which has almost been built, and another comsat goes down. He's probably rebuilt that other comsat station as well. It's a Wraith on Wraith battle, but OOV has way more Wraiths. Oh no! NaDa now has a 3rd starport, but he's just fallen behind this whole time. He's going to be forced to cancel his command center. Oh no. This is a last-ditch effort to try and save that command center with the cloak. Oh, he doesn't have any comsat right now. He doesn't have the energy. Maybe he didn't rebuild that 2nd comsat station. I thought we saw that he did, but he's out of energy, so he's forced to fall back from just a few cloaked Wraiths. He's taken massive damage. Has NaDa managed to even it up? I'm not sure. It looks like NaDa had 4 or 5 cloaked Wraiths. He picked off 3 or 4 for free, and NaDa wins the Wraith battle. What? NaDa has won the Wraith battle. Now, OOV is still not necessarily behind because I still feel, yeah, he has another control group of them. And I'm not sure why that group was not with that group. That didn't make sense. I don't know why the group that died wasn't there to support the first group. He would have won that easily if he'd had all his Wraiths together. Maybe he just had his initial group out and he had the rest rally pointed, and the rally point was just, you know, way back in the back, and he wasn't sending them out to meet up with the initial ones. But in any case, he's desperately, but now this next group is in here. I don't know if NaDa has enough to deal with this. He's trying to put down so many turrets. He forced to cancel all of the turrets and forced to cancel. Look at this. NaDa is still sieged up outside of OOV's main. There's a tank just kind of wandering down there, accidentally pathing into OOV's main. What is going on with this series? This is insane. And this is actually huge. He finds the engineering bay floating out in the middle of the map for vision, and that means that now NaDa can't actually build more turrets. He's building barracks? He's building 3 barracks? What is going on here? This game is insanity. This is such a fitting game for this epic final TVT between these 2 TVT masters. A little surprised, you know, I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again real quick, that I'm a little surprised that, yeah, he did rebuild that comp set, but now it's been killed off by the tanks. A little surprised that OOV isn't getting cloak, but then again, I'm also not surprised because we have, you know, probably 8 scans built up for NaDa right now, so it's not going to do a whole lot. And actually, it looks like NaDa might be kind of falling back and abandoning that position. He sieged up in order to kill the comp set station on the low ground, but I think he really needs to, maybe he's saying, okay, well, you know what, this isn't really accomplishing anything. I'm just going to go ahead and abandon this position. Now, as we can see, I didn't get to mention it before. Oh no! He's got a hidden base on the right, and OOV spots it. Spots the transfer with his wraiths. Oh, everything is just going so wrong for NaDa. All of these SCVs get spotted, and they get picked off along the way. So many SCV kills. He kills off yet another comset station over here, but the SCV transfer was just absolutely slaughtered. I don't think a single one survived, and now. These wraiths, I mean, what can NaDa do? He does have that command center up. He rebuilt his engineering bay. That's what I was talking about. But he didn't build any turrets. He's just now building turrets. NaDa, you needed to build those turrets so long ago. And NaDa, again, you can see, has about half the wraith count that OOV does. He's just desperately trying to win the air battle, but he's got half the wraith count. At a certain point, NaDa needs to switch into Goliaths if he's going to win this. There's no way he can deal with that many wraiths just by trying to get more wraiths himself in this situation. Again, the cloak goes down, though. The comsat is not off, and he comsets himself. Both players have cloak, but it looks like OOV just is out of comsat energy and can't counter this. He's been comsetting the whole game, and he's been losing his left base comset station. That's kind of a sad base right there. An engineering bay looking over the ruins of a command center and an unfinished turret. And what? Oh my goodness! NaDa is currently mined out in his main. He's not mining. He's floating his main command center over to his natural in order to build there. And what is going on here? Oh, okay. These are OOV's pulled his SCVs out to kill off the turrets that were abandoned because the tanks are no longer there. So he's going to be able to take out those turrets so that way OOV can start mining at his expansion because he has mined out his main, as we can see there. This is insanity. Now, OOV critically is mining. The comset station kept getting killed off on the left, but he's been mining the whole time on the left side base. Gas and minerals. And so now he's distance mining with the SCVs in his main, but NaDa is not mining at all. Okay, he's now landed there, and he's got the turrets up preemptively, building another comsat station there because he had to abandon one comsat station. And that was really pretty close, actually, for NaDa, because I remember I saying, like, oh, he's got 8 comsats, but that was thinking he had 2 command centers. He only had 1 command center the whole time, so he only had 3 or 4 comsats available. So the cloaking could have been an advantage for either one of them, I guess, actually, because again, like, you know, they each only had 1 comsat station. So OOV has about 24 wraiths at this point. Maybe not quite 24, but he's maybe like 18 or 20. But OOV definitely has control of the air still. He can't quite go in. NaDa has enough wraiths that with those turrets there to accompany them, he can't go in and just attack straight up. And it's interesting that OOV has actually decided to build a new command center at his natural, and I think it's because he doesn't want to lift off of that comsat station. He needs that comsat station operable, so he can't actually just lift his command center and move it over there. He needs to build a new one in order to keep that comm station functional. So although he could have rebuilt another one at his at the second base already, because NaDa gave up that assault a while ago. We're seeing some unmoving, unanimated starports there for OOV. He's stopped building wraiths, and I mean, how many wraiths do you need when you got 24 of them? The distant, what was going on here? That's kind of weird. I guess That was, I'm not sure how that happened, where all those SCVs were running back into the main when that one finished, but he does get them mining correctly now. And NaDa now moving out with Cloaked Wraiths and Medic Marines. What the heck? A little surprised not to see a Science Vessel actually in the mix, but he's just going to depend on the comsat stations. Moving out with these Medic Marines. Medic Marines are going to be pretty effective against Wraiths, but I think I just heard a tank sieging up. Yeah, that one tank is enough to push this back, honestly. It's one tank sieged up behind a wall is just going to be too much damage to kill off. It's going to... Actually, there's 2 tanks there. They're going to kill off those Medic Marines too quickly. So the Medic Marines can defend the Wraiths, but not if they are killed off by tanks. And it's a kind of a cool move by NaDa to even things up. Instead of going Goliaths, to even it up with Medic Marines. That's kind of an interesting choice. Again, possibly due to the fact that he's spending so much gas on all this stuff. He's low on gas. He's, okay, well, I have a bunch of minerals left over. Well, maybe not left over, but I have available minerals, and so I'm going to make Marines instead. So it's kind of a smart move, because then that can turn the tide, basically. NaDa's extra command center on the left gets found out. And is destroyed by that Wraith count. And again, though, you know, NaDa's just less mobile. OOV is more mobile right now. He's able to move around the map because he has this superior Wraith count. And he has enough static defenses with turrets and stuff that he doesn't have to worry about a counterattack with NaDa's Wraiths. Which is crucial, because otherwise NaDa could just run in there with his own Wraiths and kill off the tanks, and then he would have the advantage with those Medic Marines. He could go in and possibly win the game there, but at the very least threaten that extra base. So this is kind of crazy, and we're getting a little bit of a lag there. That's kind of weird. But NaDa's desperately trying to get another base, and every time he makes one, OOV finds it and he's forced to cancel again and again and again. This is like the 4th or 5th time, maybe not 5th, but 3rd or 4th time that NaDa has built a base and it's just been taken out by the Wraiths. And here's a big Wraith battle coming in, and OOV again is deciding to fall back. Now they both comsat, they both go in. The Marines are on the scene, though. That's going to force back OOV's Wraiths, but look how many Wraiths NaDa has left. That was not an even trade. OOV had more to begin with, so he took out more of NaDa's. NaDa had less anyway, and so now NaDa left with 4 or 5 Wraiths. I thought he had more than that, to be honest, but before he lost several. 5, that is 5 starports! OOV is just really committed to this air battle. 5 starports, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we might have him catch a little bit here, but he knows that he's actually got the short end of this. He needs to fall back to those Marines. He tries to bait them in. He gets 1 or 2 of OOV's Wraiths, but he's still behind by like 20. Getting a couple of them is not enough. He needs to do something more decisive in order to come back. No, I mean, it's like, what's he gonna do? OOV has a ton of Wraiths, right? What can he do against a ton of Wraiths? These Medic Marines are an answer. They are an answer. Medic Marines are going to be very good against a group of Wraiths if you have even less forces. But he needs to be able to engage those Wraiths with the Medic Marines. And so it's like kind of a not the best situation for NaDa. By the way, we did see 2 armories going up for OOV like a little while ago. Now we're seeing 1 go up for NaDa. So if OOV is actually making upgrades, double upgrades on those Wraiths, and here he comes and he says, I have enough now. I don't have to worry about your turrets. He's targeting down the command center. NaDa needs that command center. It's currently the only place he's mining. His own Wraiths come in for an attack. He comsats to get vision. Preemptively, both players comsatting to get vision, and NaDa is in deep trouble because we also saw there that he's almost mined out of the minerals there. And so this is what we're seeing here, is NaDa is forced to try and build another base on the left side of the map, and he needs to keep his Medic Marines by that base. Otherwise, we'll see what we've seen over and over again, which is OOV just going in and taking the base out with a bajillion Wraiths. Right, and there we do see both of, I think we're seeing the animation there that both of those armories are spinning, so he is probably getting 1/1 upgrades for his Wraiths. Ah, there we go. The Valkyries are out, and that, oh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Okay, get mining there. Okay, I was waiting for the command, he's waiting for the command center to finish to get mining, and oh no, He's going in with tanks, and a few siege tanks are going to be more than enough to deal with these medic marines. And oh no, this could be the end for NaDa right here. Once these medic marines get slaughtered, the higher upgraded, more multitudinous wraiths will be the advantage. But can a Valkyrie turn the tide? Maybe if he had like 2 or 3 Valkyries, the Valkyries are going to be able to do a bunch of basically splash damage to the Wraith count, and he needs to wait until he has 3 or 4 Valkyries. He has 3 Valkyries now. Can he go in on this? Oov is building turrets. He's got to contain on that side base. There's only a handful of medic marines there. It's going to come down to one battle. He's going to have to go in with the medic marines and the Valkyries and the Wraiths. He's trying to take out the tanks. He's going in with the Wraiths to try and pick off the tanks, but the turrets are stopping him from doing that. It is just such... This is balanced on a knife edge. It's going to take such good micro on both players' parts. Here it is, the final battle of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Are the Valkyries going to be able to do enough? NaDa's Wraiths have melted before the Valkyries even got in there, and it's just left with Oov having 24 Wraiths and NaDa having nothing. And NaDa GG's. Remember 18 GG's. And... wow, NaDa is now indeed remembering 418. And the memory is even more sharp than it was before because the same thing happened again. Oov, in the final game of their series, was able to take him out. And Oov looking almost relieved there. Even though I do believe that he had kind of control over the game for most of that game. But Oov is going to advance. Oov is going to advance to the semifinals, and I feel pretty bad for NaDa. NaDa, you know, is one of my sort of favorite players, and I feel bad for him that he's not going to advance here. But also, just this was his chance, the rematch, the grudge match. This was his chance to get back at Oov for those finals and to prove himself over this upstart newcomer Oov. While NaDa's a veteran. He's been playing professionally for 3 or 4 years now, compared to Oov has just gotten on the scene recently, you know. But Oov's going to advance, and so this is really not good for NaDa. NaDa, of course, is still going to be seeded into the round of 24, I think, for the next tournament. So he's not like, you know, it's not ending his career or anything like that. Of course, we do though know that NaDa keeps playing for years to come. But Oov is going to advance. So yeah, so we're going to have another TVP because we're going to have Oov playing against Reach, and oh, that is going to be a good match as well. That there's some history there too. So anyway, but that's going to do it for this quarterfinal. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. But we got more quarterfinals left. We got more mirror matches. We got a ZVZ and another TVT to determine who's going to be in the semifinals. So that's actually really cool because that means that we're not going to have a single mirror match in the semifinals because we do have a TVP on this side. And then we're going to have a TVZ on the other side. So anyway, so yeah, next up we're going to do July Zerg versus Yellow. And that is going to be pretty epic too, actually, because it's a similar situation to this where, Yellow is the old veteran, kind of like NaDa, that's been playing for a few years and winning tournaments for a few years. And July Zerg is kind of the newer on the scene, a little bit flashier, possibly better, and kind of a similar situation here. So that's going to be exciting too. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. GG, and I'll see you in the next one.